What is up, everyone? Presented by PrizePicks. Get $50 instantly with a $5 deposit with the promo code LIGHTYEARS. Welcome to Lightyears. Andy Lou, what a fucking good game today. That was a dramatic intro. I apologize for that. I don't actually apologize at all. Sometimes I try to see how much I can get away with, kind of like see if I can make your face break. You're like, uh-oh, is his internet broken?
I'm waiting. I'm not cutting you off. I'm waiting. We're on a great mood. Hey, was that dude, game of the year. I mean, come on. That was unbelievable. Felt like I was watching a playoff game.
I feel like that game sums up how I feel about this Warriors team. They look, you're up 31. They come back on you. You have issues initiating offense. All the lack of talent shows. But at the same time, you also went up 31 and you had enough dog in you to fucking win the game. And that's kind of where I'm at with this team, where I'm like, look, we can argue about the talent and how they don't have a second option and, you know, all that sort of stuff. But you know what I like about this team? It doesn't fucking matter right now. They're going to compete. And that's all I want. Like, watching this team, I don't feel like I'm going to walk away from it being like they could be better than what they are. They're going to be the best version of themselves.
Correct. And the power of friendship is apparently an underrated factor in the roster construction of NBA teams. I think we always jokingly say the vibes are great for MLB teams. I think you always need a great locker room. Football, probably the biggest one. You need a great locker room. And right now, when you watch the Warriors, and tonight really showed the vibes being real, is that you don't lose a 31-point lead. And by the way, side note, I didn't think that was like a big choke thing. I just think that happens in today's NBA. But you don't come back from that without truly having everyone bought in from top, which is Draymond Green, who I thought played his heart out and didn't do anything stupid, all the way down to Lindy Waters, the last person, and honestly, all the way to Kuminga, who I think is probably the person that's had the most like stuff to say about it, and he's obviously the one that took over at overtime. Sam, like you just don't survive games like this if you're not a true team.
No,
and, this is the one.
I don't need to hear Steve Kerr's press conference to know he's going to talk about connectivity, how they're connected, how they believe in each other. But you know what? Like, as much as we love to make fun of that hokey stuff, it's true. It is 100% true. Does last year's team win a game if they choke away a 30-point lead? Does the year before's team win away? No, of course not. The minute things go poorly on a team that's not connected, you know, finger pointing, it's that sort of thing. And this team, I mean, who was playing point guard down the stretch? I think it was Slow-Mo. It might have been Kuminga. Like Slow-Mo. They were out of ball handlers. Pods, Draymond, obviously Steph's not there. Like they're all gone. But like, and that's suboptimal. It just is suboptimal. Like, you know, you don't have your best ball handlers on the floor. And they're still willing to buy in and fight their way through it. So in some ways, it's funny to say this, but in some ways, it's more impressive that they shit away a 30-point lead.
Yes. And I think kind of talking about the game a little bit, I think 31-point lead, choking that all away, it is kind of nuts. I think losing a 20-point lead is more normal. So 30, I mean, look, 32 for 50.
15's the new 5 in the NBA, right?
Really, truly. And the free throws are really what cost them. But to your point, it shows me more. If they win this game by 25 and they just kept the lead throughout, we sit here across from each other and say, oh, like, this is amazing. Maybe this is realistic. I do think you watch a game like this, it does mean more. Now I'm kind of thinking, like, how realistic are they? This was not a game that they should have won tonight coming in. They were 6-point underdogs. Also, Houston's really good, I think. I actually really like this Houston team. Really good defense, really fast. They've got enough offense, right? Like, this is not a game that I thought the Warriors were definitely going to win. And by the time we were 24 minutes in, Sam, like the Warriors were 2-3 times the team. Hey, come on. 2-3 times better than the Rockets. And then to show the level of grit that they had, I thought every player, I don't really have a complaint about any player. I think that's maybe one way to put this team. Like there was no complaint for me of any single player in this game outside of nobody can shoot free throws. Like that's it. Every single player you go down the line, bald.
Yeah, no, I think that's actually the right way to put it. My complaints about this game are things that are not tangibly fixable. It's like, is Steve Kerr going to make them better free throw shooters? Maybe he puts them through drills, but probably not. Like, it's not realistic. Like, is there a way for the coaching staff to make guys like Wiggins, Kuminga point guards? No, that's not who they are.
Yeah,
like, I think they hit adversity. Houston, to your point, is a phenomenal defensive team. They definitely are athletic, and they will force you to turn over a little bit. And, to me, it said more about this team having kind of the balls to keep fighting after they choked the game away than anything. So I'm happy. I'm very happy with the direction of this team, because that's kind of the type of gumption we haven't seen for a couple of years from a Warriors team. We've seen teams run Steve Kerr's offense, and when it's working, it's beautiful. It's like, obviously, it's a great looking offense. Ball pops, shooters hit shots, but what really defines a good team is when shit's not working. And it was fun to see them. Is refreshing. It's been a minute since I've seen a Warriors team who's like, you know what? Things aren't going our way, but we can still figure a way to gut this out.
I honestly don't really understand how they did it. And actually, you know what? I'm gonna let you lead, because do you want to talk about some of the highlights and stuff, or we want to wait on that a little bit outside of this portion? Okay.
Well, I mean, so for me, Kuminga in overtime was the big thing for me, but I feel like I talked to everyone this one. Like, Wiggins and Moody to open the game were phenomenal. Wiggins, some of those off the dribble threes, I'm like, where the fuck does this come from? Like, is this a new thing he does? Like, Moody and movement, like all that sort of stuff was great. And then they kind of choke it away, and Kuminga really was kind of the steadying force in overtime for me. Getting downhill, getting them easy buckets, getting to the free throw line, making his free throws, which other guys were not doing.
Only one.
Yeah, he hit him kind of, quote unquote, when it mattered. I think this is what I thought Kuminga was going to do when the season started, and he had a terrible start to the season. And honestly, I don't really know how he fits into the starting lineup, but coming off the bench, this is a role that suits him. He hit the over. I'm starting to make back my money on PrizePicks. And he looked every part of that, because I don't think he's ever going to be a shooter, and that's okay. It's not his game, but I do think he can be a very aggressive downhill force playmaker.
So when we started this season, you and I sat here and talked about, kind of the things that the Warriors will need if they want to take a next step into contendership.
Yeah.
Word. What we saw tonight from Kuminga was that next step to get them to contendership. I think Steph's on the floor, they're going to make free throws. Like, I'm not really worried about that, right? Defensively, you're always going to be good enough. Looney was amazing down the stretch. Draymond, he's going to be on the floor. But what they really need that guy that can just go get to the rim. And Kuminga scored 6 out of the 8 points in overtime. Overtime was 8-2. Both teams were exhausted. And Kuminga only plays 26 minutes tonight. Look at his legs. Hey, look at his legs out there. He jumped right through Jabari Smith a few times, hit a mid-range fadeaway, and you're kind of sitting there and you're like, that's the type of shit that when you're going up against the Lakers in the first round, or you're going up against the Mavericks when they've gummed up your offense, and he's just going one-on-one against PJ Washington. I know I'm kind of just throwing it, but and he can just go right through him. That's the type of stuff where, it makes the first couple games of the season not matter, I think, because what we're seeing now in overtime against Houston in crunch time on the road is much more important than what we saw in that weird starting lineup to start the season against shitty teams, is what I'm trying to say.
And to me, it's feel. Like, he came in aggressive. He got downhill. Then once the defense started reacting to him, that's when he took a couple shots. That's when he took a couple outside shots. And maybe, like honestly, like, let's be honest, overreacting to a couple games off the start of the season. But when he plays with force, when he actually plays downhill first, and then when the defense reacts to him, that's when, he takes the open jumper, he does some other stuff. Tough guy to guard. There's not a lot of 6'8" guys who have that kind of explosive energy to the rim. So, Yeah, it's good to see. And like, that was kind of what I was expecting all year. And again, they're in game 7. It's like sometimes it's easy to like overreact to this sort of stuff, but
But I
6
look
going.
the when the mid range is going, it is really pretty. When the Kuminga mid range is going, it's really pretty. Also, 6 rebounds in 26 minutes. So you want to extrapolate that to 30 minutes, maybe he gets even close to 10 rebounds, which I think is a big thing for him. I mean, when he's jumping in there against the likes of Tara Easton had a great game. Jalen Green is super athletic.
Easton's a good player. Yeah.
Right. Hey,
And
by the way,
they're super athletic across the board. You're right. Yeah.
they benched Şengün, by the way. Warriors played him off the court. What I was gonna say is when you watch guys like Kuminga get in the fray with Jalen Green and Amen Thompson and Tari Eason, like he's just as athletic as those guys, if not more. Like, would you say he might actually be?
Yeah.
Maybe not.
He might have
pretty
more
crazy,
skill
but
than some of those guys. He might have more skill than some of those guys.
definitely Amen Thompson. Did you see the way they were guarding him? They guarded him like
Yeah.
he was Draymond. It was
I mean,
woo.
yeah. I mean, he's kind of like he kind of hits all the Rockets players, and it's kind of a different player for the Warriors. But in my opinion, that makes him more important for the Warriors because they don't have guys who are kind of like athletic standouts in general. So I thought he played excellent, and I love when he gets downhill because I think it adds a new dynamic to the Warriors. And you mentioned the fadeaway, and that's kind of always my thing with Kuminga. It's like if he's going downhill and forces a jumper, it's okay. If he's standing there and decides to fade away, it's kind of annoying just because he can do more than that. So
yeah. God, best game of the season. Kuminga's best game of the season. His agents already put this game on tape. This one's going to different teams. Send the contract offer. Let's get the money.
Let's get the money, buddy.
Good game, Kuminga. That was fun.
Let's talk about our friends over at PrizePicks real quick.
PrizePicks is the best place to get real money sports action with over 10 million members, billions of dollars in awarded winnings. PrizePicks, Dave Fantasy Sports, accessible to all. Listen, I know this is how we start the show. Download the app today. Use code LIGHTYEARS. Get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. This is what I
did. You win tonight, by the way? Did you win?
I didn't because Şengün got benched. So here's the thought process, right? So they've got a couple like things you could do. You could do a power play or you could do a flex play. A flex play, you only need to hit 2 out of 3, but you only get like 50% of what you put in, right? So if it's $14, you get $7. The power play is the fun part. You hit all 3, you put 50 in, you get 52.5 back, right? So I went with Şengün, 10.5 over on rebounds. He hit 10. And he got benched.
This is not a strong sell, by the way.
Hard. No, the sell is you go to PrizePicks, you use the code LIGHTYEARS, you get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. What you don't want to do is you don't want to look at what Andy's picking on that day. That's what you don't want to do. You know what I mean? What I did get right was I did get right with the Draymond. More than 4.5 points. I knew he was going to bring it.
We got the power play with Draymond. That's what I like about PrizePicks. They throw a power play in there. It's basically free money. It's like, oh, is Draymond going to score more than 4 points? Like, I mean, yeah, pretty much free money right there. My PrizePicks.
Go ahead.
I was going to say my play on PrizePicks right now is I'm taking the over on Kuminga going forward because I think he hit his. I think he got over that mental hurdle, and now I think you're going to beat the books because the books are going to think, bench player Kuminga 12 points per game.
Sure.
But you're about to get I want a max contract Kuminga. You're about to get 25 a game every game. So that's kind of also the other fun part about PrizePicks. Like, look, we debate all these players all the time. I do believe in Kuminga to a degree. I think he's better than whatever we've seen the first few games. And PrizePicks is a way for me to make money off it and kind of cash in on the fact that I think a little Kuminga run's coming right now. I think I should be rewarded for my faith in having a little Kuminga.
I think what listeners need to know is 2 things. Number one, use the promo code LIGHTYEARS, right? For on PrizePicks, $50 instantly after you play your first $5. Second thing is go Warriors. Go just strictly Warriors because I nailed the Podziemski over 5.5 rebounds. The kid's a monster rebounder. Nailed the Draymond 4.5 points. Stick with the Warriors. Go with the Kuminga over on the points on the next one. Throw all 3 together for a power play, Sam, and do it on PrizePicks.
Yeah. I mean, it's look, if nothing else, it's fun. I love guessing guys' stats every game. It doesn't have to be that serious. You don't have to play that much. It's just a good time. It's fun. Andy and I text each other every game with our little prize picks plays. We're not playing big money. I promise you, neither of us want to get in trouble for playing big money. So, I'm just playing it. Sometimes you get burned. Sometimes Ime Udoka's a hater. And Şengün, I know you got 10 rebounds in 20 minutes, but I got to make sure Andy's parlay doesn't hit. And sometimes you get a winner like I did with Kuminga on a low line where I'm just sitting here going, you know what? Over. So, and it is disgusting, but it is also amazing how great it feels when you win, because nothing is better than when you win. Prize Picks, use the code LIGHTYEARS, deposit $5, get $50, literally free cash, guys.
It's good.
It is fun. I mean, everything, I'll be honest with you, everything is more fun after a win. Everything is more fun after a win. They throw that 31-point game away. You and I are sitting here, trade machine, going, motherfuckers wouldn't trade for Larry Markin. What the fuck? But they win. They win. You and I are like, you know what? They live another day. And how many games can they win before we have to really make a deal?
Dude, truly, this is the type of game that, look, I'm not comparing it to 2022, Sam, but these are the type of games you remember in 2022. They won a few games where you're sitting there and you're saying, whoa, right? Like, this is going to make it on the NBA Finals DVD for kids that are listening that don't know what a DVD is. Look it up. But like, this is the stuff
reel.
Yeah, the YouTube reel. This will make it on. Like the Otto Porter game, right? Remember against the Suns? Like those are the type of games that truly, this is what the Warriors are this season. This is the game that shows what the Warriors are. I think this makes it on that YouTube reel, that somebody's gonna put together. They're gonna show this Houston Rockets game and said, like, that's how the Warriors got there, man. Like, this is the type of heart they showed. They blew a lead, but it showed more to me that they won the game after blowing the lead than if they had just won the game at 25.
Particularly early season. Early season's more about like feeling out who they are than reacting to like minimal things, because every good team's gonna blow out the game. And every bad team's going to win a game they shouldn't win. But what I need to know is more about the character of the team. All right. I got a Steve Kerr quote from you. I want to react to it.
Number one thing in defense is always personnel. It's scheme is overrated. What I would say is that our guys, number one, we are better able to stay in front of the ball this year. And because of that, we're not having to get into rotations, and we're just putting ourselves in better shape each possession. With that said, guys are playing really hard, and our defensive coaches are doing a great job of preparing them. Jerry's been awesome. Chris DeMarco's been fantastic. Like, there's a concerted effort to remind these guys every day that if you want to be a contender, you got to be great defensively.
Ooh, there's a lot there. Scheme is overrated.
That's what I heard.
I actually disagree with him there. I think like the foundation of it is just giving a shit. That starts with it. But to me, the interesting part is we're staying in front of our guys more. So I have some thoughts on this. I saw some people react to it, but I want your thoughts first.
Oh,
what are your thoughts on him going, we're doing a better job of staying in front of people relative to, let's say, the last couple of years?
More often than not, Steve Kerr is correct. He's correct here. I do think the schemes is overrated stuff. I think is or schemes doesn't matter stuff is interesting. I think it's his way of kind of giving himself grace for, I think, not junking it up enough the last few seasons. But then his next point about staying in front of people, I think, proves what he's trying to say is correct. Is when you've got guys like Chris Paul playing big minutes, Jordan Poole playing big minutes, Klay Thompson the last season playing big minutes, you just can't play enough defense. You already have someone like Steph who has to shoulder such a big load that Steph's just not going to be good defensively, especially in the regular season. He's 35, right? And he has to score 30 points a game because you have nobody else that can dribble the ball. So when that happens, you don't have enough guys that can actually play defense. This season, I'm watching Bud Hield actually try to play defense. Now, is he good? He's not good. They attacked him down the stretch the last 5 minutes of the game. But Sam, he gives a fuck. No, he gives a fuck. But Jemski, he breaks his nose, I swear, every game because he's trying to draw charges. Today he jumped over someone, landed on his back. I thought he got concussed, like snapped his neck a little bit.
I don't know how he's
Kuminga,
going to make it. I don't even know how he's going to make it 5 years. The way he just throws his body around. So
he's Debo. He's a football player. Like I don't know I don't know how he can keep going. But I get the point is every single guy cares because they have the depth. These guys are young enough to where they still care to play defense instead of trying to save their energy on offense. And I think that's his point. It permeates through the entire roster because all these guys care. And like you said, I think it goes back to what you said. As long as these guys give a shit 100% of the time, I think in the regular season, that is all that mostly matters.
Yeah. What he's saying is, like, some people took this as a shot at Clay or Chris Paul. I took this as there's no agendas. There's no politics anymore. It's not just about those guys. I'll throw Kuminga in there also. If you do not fit, you will get benched. There's no, we have to play this guy because of their contract, because of their seniority, because of X, Y, and Z. And when you can just compile a defense and compile your roster based upon best fit, it's much easier. It's much easier when everything's a meritocracy. You may not like it, but you understand it. And so part of the defense, everyone's staying in front of each other, is they're playing a big next to Draymond. So they got a big behind Draymond. He could play free safety. He's helping everyone. Like, yeah, Wiggins can stay in front of his man without help, but I don't know, can Pods, can some of the other guys, like, yeah, it's a little less. But when Draymond's right behind you roaming, you're staying in front of your man. And last year they were not able to play Draymond at the 4 because they had to fit Kuminga. Like, all these guys had to play small line. And all of this is to say the politics are out the window. We're playing our best lineups right now. And it's nothing against any of the players, nothing against Clay, nothing against Chris Paul, nothing against Kuminga, nothing against, I don't know, and keep going on the line. But a good team doesn't have politics. A good team just kind of rides with it. And that's what I'm taking from Steve's statement.
And I do think Steve's hella happy. By the way, that's the other thing.
This is a great freeze frame, by the way.
He just how, like, everything that he's saying, you can just kind of hear the through what,
good
6
moods.
games, 5-1. It is good mood. Look, I do think, not to get like going too far too high, like we'll see what happens against like the better teams. Like we saw the defense kind of fall apart against the Clippers. I think that was kind of fluky, to be honest, but we'll see. Like they play some really good offenses here on the road trip. Let's see what they look like against the Celtics. Let's see what they look like against some of these other teams. But I think overall, like, this is a defense that is going to win a lot of games, like you saw tonight. Fatigue or not, 2 points in overtime, in nut cutting time against the Houston Rockets. And I think a lot of the issues tonight, down the stretch, was that, the Houston Rockets kind of ran them over. They started making a bunch of threes, but they just turned the ball over a bunch, right? Like, I do think the defense should hold up, but I think maybe the only question, Sam, left for me with this defense is, what does it look like against the best teams in the NBA? And
I guess my question for you is, okay, so Steph hasn't played and they're 3-0 without Steph, which is wild. Like, it's kind of crazy we'd even call that out to begin with. What is this team ceiling as presently constructed? Actually, forget the playoffs. How many games can they win in the regular season with this construct? Like, can they win 50 games? Can they? Because to me, you don't need me or you to tell listeners, like, probably not a contender if they don't add a second star, right? But what I'm curious about is how good they can be in this construct to put pressure to see what they'll do with the roster.
The upside is 50 games. It has to be, because if you're taking into account that they won 46 last season and they're getting enough value from Buddy Hield and some of these role players in place of Klay Thompson, and you subtract some of the other stuff that they had in the locker room last season, and Draymond, let's say he looks like he's telling us that he's ready to play 70 games. Upside is 50 games. I think it's easily 50 games.
Okay.
No question.
I think I agree with you. I think I agree with you. There's a lot of season left, but if they defend like this and honestly, actually, to be honest, the big thing is Draymond going to stay this locked in? Because I think they can win 50 plus games if they get this type of Draymond and Steph's in and out of the lineup, or they can get 50 games if Steph's locked in and Draymond's in and out of the lineup. But they can't get it if both of them are that way.
Right.
So
Right.
that's always kind of the part I'm curious about. The other thing I wanted to ask you about was the shooting, my man. The shooting. They okay, so mostly the first half. Do you buy that they have done something skill development wise shooting?
Oh man, I kind of want to throw that back at you because I'm watching the first half and I have no idea what. Here's what I think. Here's what I think is happening. I don't think they've done anything from a skill development perspective. But what I think they've done is they've created an approach that doesn't. It's a confident approach, and it's an approach that requires all the players to actually score. So it essentially instills the belief that, hey, we need you to shoot, we need you to score, and I think that works for guys like I think Wiggins, one, right? Another guy is a Moses Moody, right? He's coming off, he's launching. Lindy Waters, he's like these guys are shooters, but how many times have we seen shooters play for the Warriors where, hey, we kind of just lose our confidence because we need to go play next to these elite guys like Steph, Clay, and Draymond. But right now, that's not the case. I think Steve Kerr is going in there and say, "Hey, Jonathan Kuminga, we're not winning this game if you don't shoot 3, 4, 5 threes a game. Hey, we're not winning this game, Buddy Hield, if you don't make 5 threes a game." And I think that matters more in the NBA than skill development, because I don't see anything different from a skill development perspective. I
saw Wiggins and Moody come off of screens. I was just like, oh, what's going on? Have they unlocked something? But before we get into it, I want to tell you about your guys. Our guys at Body Spec. Guys, ready to kickstart your fitness journey? Whether you're an athlete, a fitness enthusiast, or just getting back in shape, Body Spec has you covered. For less than the price of a haircut, you can get a DEXA scan, the world's most accurate body composition scan. What's a DEXA scan? A DEXA scan is a highly accurate way of measuring various aspects of your body composition: body fat percentage, bone density, lean muscle mass, visceral fat, like the fat around your organs, the stuff that compiles when you drink too much at night. No. While you traditionally been using high performance athletes, companies like Body Spec have made it more accessible for everyone to get insights into your health. And this is the part that really excites me about it. So this is something I've always been curious about, but usually it costs $250, $300. I'm not that curious, being honest with you. $45 to get a scan, to get my body fat, my bone density, to figure out what I need to do fitness-wise. That is a deal. So guys, go to bodyspec.com, use LightYears45, and you can get a DEXA scan for only $45. Again, $200 is the traditional price of this stuff. $45, that's like a copay. Get it done. Sign up for it. They have locations in the Bay Area, Los Angeles, Austin, and they have vans that will come to you. So literally, they will drive up to you, give you the scan, tell you got a 48% body fat. You'll feel bad about yourself, but then you will feel motivated to get back in shape. So I'll do it. Bodyspec.com, promo code LightYears45.
Light Years Podcast. We are brought to you by Game Time. Game Time is an authorized ticket marketplace of Major League Baseball, which makes getting tickets faster and easier. Prices on the Game Time app actually go down the closer it gets to the first pitch, with killer last-minute deals, all-in prices, views from your seat, and their lowest price guarantee. Game Time takes the guesswork out of buying MLB tickets or NFL. What do we got? What you got up there? We got Seahawks at Niners. They will be at Levi Stadium. Yeah, there you go. Look at that. Hey, there's some good tickets. Look at that.
Those are some good tickets. But let's keep going.
Look at $320 for mid-level seat. You're right there. So look, here's what you got. You got priority last-minute deals. Save up to 60% off buying last minute for sports, concerts, comedy, theater, etc. Flash deal. Save even more with exclusive in-app deals on select seats ahead of the game or event. And you've also got the lowest price guarantee. or Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. Game Time ticket coverage, your purchase is covered with the most flexible customer service policy in the ticketing industry. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use code LIGHTYEARS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem code LIGHTYEARS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem code LIGHTYEARS for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed.
Let's get it, guys. All right. Last segment. We got our guy Draymond Green up here talking just now on Kuminga. I want to play this for you real quick.
Stretch where he's moving to the bench. That's obviously not something that he necessarily needs to love. But how have you seen him kind of handle this transition?
I don't want him to love coming off the bench. He believes he's a superstar. I believe he's a superstar. And so as long as you believe that, you shouldn't be okay with coming off the bench. But how you respond is important. You can respond with sulking, or you can just go do what it is that you can do to help the team win and to be great, and that's what he's doing. So not only should we talk about his play, but we should talk about his maturity, because last year he wouldn't have handled that well. But another year of growth and maturity, he's taken he's had his first 2 games yet this season. And so, that's neither here nor there, whether it's, you play better coming off the bench. I don't buy that for anybody. No one wants to come off the bench. Everybody wants to be a starter. That's the game we play. You didn't make it to the NBA if you were coming off the bench, so no one's used to it coming in. And so, if you're going to find someone with star potential that want to come off the bench, send them the opposite way of me. So, who wants that? So credit his maturity and how he's handling this, as well as his play. But I think
I love Draymond. I will, he over under Draymond doing something that's going to make me get on the stream and be like, I can't defend it. But anyway.
Do you think Kuminga hears this, if he hears it and likes it? Do you think?
I think Kuminga wants to start. I think everything Draymond's saying is true, to be honest with you.
I agree.
And I'm okay with it. I'm okay with, I kind of agree with him. I've kind of felt this way the whole way. Like, I like the fact that Kuminga wants to be a superstar. Okay, it's not gonna be given to you, bro. You gotta earn it, right? Like, and that's always been the thing. So I don't know if he likes this, but if it's bringing out this level of performance, I'll tell you right now, if he plays at this level on a consistent basis, the Warriors will be a better team. He will get a huge contract. Everyone will be happier. The thing with Kuminga for me is tonight, he might have been the best Warrior. Draymond was the best Warrior, but you know what I'm saying? Like he played phenomenal. And the beginning of the season, when he did not know his role and he was fitting in as a starter, he played poor. So that's kind of the thing. Like, when he plays like this, when he plays with force, like, he's a very intriguing player.
Because I think one thing Draymond said that I think he probably won't say out loud, but I think he knows, is that, dude, if Kuminga is going to play well, he's going to close, and he closed tonight. Trayce Jackson-Davis started at center and played 13 minutes, dude, in a game that went to overtime. You know what I mean? Like, that shit doesn't matter. But obviously, like Draymond said, it matters. It matters to Kuminga and it matters to NBA players. And that's correct. And he said that. What I thought was also interesting is he said Kuminga wouldn't have been like that last year. So it's like kind of a way of like, is it a backhanded compliment? I thought it was super funny. It's like, he wouldn't have come through like that last year. But again, Draymond, I think, is trying to coax out the most he can out of Kuminga, while also kind of protecting the organization, right? Kind of protecting Steve Kerr, and honestly protecting himself, because I think we know this. The reason why Trayce Jackson-Davis starts at 5, and if it's in him, it'd be Looney, is that Draymond doesn't want to play the 5, and he shouldn't to start these games. The only reason why they did that last year is they had no choice. We know Draymond, Wiggins, and Kuminga 5-4-3 is going to work, especially to close out games. Sam, isn't that going to be the lineup most of the games this season, regardless, right? And I think
Probably.
Kuminga, right? It is like Steph and Melton or Steph and Paz or Steph and Heald, whatever. And those three guys, or it's the closing lineup.
Stephen Lindy.
Stephen Lindy. And he's getting nice passes today. I didn't know that Waters the third could pass, but but again, I think Draymond's trying to get Kuminga bought in is like, yeah, he understands that he doesn't want to start, but at the end of the day, if Kuminga's going to play like this, he's closing tonight. Freaking won them the game tonight. I think to me that's all that matters. But I'm also not Kuminga. We're not Kuminga. Like it makes sense.
Also think. Okay, so like the thing that's frustrated me about Wiggins over the years has been how lackadaisical he can be. Like there is locked in Wiggins, and then there is doing cardio, not really locked in Wiggins. And for most of his career, it's been the latter, but he's shown when he's locked in, he's a fucking hell of a player. Like he's an exceptional player, and he's done it at the highest level, and he deserves credit for all of that. Kuminga, in many ways, the skill set is different. Kuminga is more downhill and far less of a shooter and far less of a defender at this stage. But it's a similar thing where when he wants to assert himself, even if it's not perfect, you feel his presence and it positively helps the team. And then there are games where you're just like, what do you do? Like, you're just expecting people to like give you like, an open gym layup instead of taking force of the game. And so part of me wonders if like Draymond like here is just like him trying to just kind of like light a fire under a guy who maybe it's been too easy for him coming up. And it's just kind of like too easy just being like, you're a better athlete than everyone he played with in high school. Right. And just kind of trying to bring it out of him because he used to do the same thing with Wiggins. And it just, there's so many similarities for me in terms of like the mental aspect of it.
I agree. I can't disagree with that. I think the real question then there is, are they going to get a career similar to Wiggins, which if Kuminga has that type of career in terms of can he become a winning player a couple times for a playoff run, I think that is a success.
Sure.
Does Kuminga, would he think that's a success? I don't know. He might have other ideas of success. But what the Warriors think that's a success, depending on what the type of contract he's going to get from them, right? I don't know. But what I do know is if he can play at this rate consistently. But I feel like we ask ourselves these questions all the time. All the time. It's like how many times? You know what I'm saying? With Wiggins, it's like we know that it is sometimes. We know. But we know that he's done it sometimes. And he did it that run, right? And so with Kuminga, also, like, yeah, I'm but also Kuminga's 22, so he's way younger, right? So, but it's like, but we're also in the stage where we always go back to it's like, well, it's Steph, it's Steph's.
What's a two timeline? It's a 2 timeline thing, right? Exactly. So it's like kind of like with Wiggins, it's kind of like you have an understanding of who he can be. You're also like not lying to yourself that he's gonna be
27,
29, 30,
29. I guess he came to the Warriors when he was 27. Oh, what do we got? We got a quote here. What do we got?
Tar Eason, by the way, I just want to clown on this a little bit. Tar Eason on what let the Rockets increased energy and effort. I don't like the Warriors.
That's awesome.
Good. You can just line yourself up with the other Rockets teams who've lost to the Warriors over the years. They're just fucking losers, man. Loser. They're not a good team. I'm sorry. I actually like certain Rocket players, but like in the aggregate, I'm like, you're not. This team is going to peak as a 5 seed, 1 second round appearance. Cool.
I think
good job.
The Rockets have a problem though. If we're going to do this like really quick, you can't play. Like Şengün playing 21 minutes tonight, and you're trying to grow as a team. You got a lot of young guys, and you're trying to grow, and you're trying to win games as a team together. Mm-hmm. And Şengün plays 21 minutes.
Not my problem.
Unacceptable. I know, but I'm just saying, like, that's unacceptable, right? They just paid him the max amount of money, and you're going to. And by the way, Jalen Green, I even noticed he played basketball tonight. I actually turned around and I was like, dude, Jalen Green was on the fucking court for 34 minutes, which is to say to me, like Tari Eason, I know it's a funny quote, but he was the best player tonight for the Rockets. It's I like the Rockets, Sam, but you're right. Like they're gonna peak because Şengün 21 minutes, man. I don't know what to say. Trade him then. Trade him to the Warriors because this is not. I don't know why I'm ranting for the fucking Rockets. This
boring
doesn't make
ass
any
team.
sense.
Boring.
Boring. I think they're fun to watch, but
No,
21
they're
minutes
fun to
is great.
watch. I'm just being a hater. Not gonna lie to you.
I like young teams. I like young, fun teams. But no. Okay, we got something else, or we?
Let's call it out. We've talked a lot of Kuminga. We got a road trip coming, but Sam Amick throws this out there.
Ooh.
Says Kuminga is on the short list of guys to be traded.
Uh-oh.
You guys can watch me log in. Cannot watch me log in, to be honest. I'm sure you read the article on the Athletic, kind of saying that the Warriors are unsure what they want to do with him. Look, none of this is new. They didn't give him an extension. There was rumors they offered him 150. I don't know if I buy that. Apparently he wants a max. I don't know if I buy that either. Maybe more so. It's just rumors about
You're not
this.
buying anything. You're not buying anything, huh?
Does any of this change your perception of Kuminga, of the team, of anything? Like, does this report change anything? Sam Amick comes out here saying the Warriors they're more likely to trade him than they were in the past.
No. Probably not. No,
that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Like none of this moves me.
Yeah, probably not. I mean, the report says right here, rival executives believe the Warriors are more willing to ever to include Kuminga. Fact remains, they're setting their sights very high. This is on possible targets. So this is like what other rival executives believe, right? This is not necessarily what the Warriors believe, but
they want
Warriors
Giannis for Kuminga. Let's go.
They've done this dance. We've done this dance. Everyone's done this dance so many damn times. It's kind of like can you name some players, Sam? And we've done this a million times that have been in trade talks. That is the one. That is the one. Miles Turner is the one that has been in trade talks their whole career. And Miles Turner is a very good basketball player. Is he a star? No. But he's a very, very high level like rotation player in the NBA. And this is what it feels like. This feels like a Miles Turner situation for Kuminga, where he's just going to be in trade talks all the time. And the Warriors aren't going to move him for Jimmy Butler. They're not going to move him for Giannis because why would someone do that? And they're just going to keep Kuminga forever. And Kuminga's just going to be a really freaking high-level rotation player for his career. Or maybe he's a star, whatever. But it feels like that Miles Turner situation. It really does. He ain't going nowhere.
Siakam.
Kuminga's not going anywhere.
Yeah. Siakam.
I would freaking love that. That would be the best.
We've had that conversation a bunch. I want to end on this. Let me ask you this.
All right.
Amick mentions Jimmy Butler, someone the Warriors have interest in. Shocking. Where are you with Jimmy in the year 2024, 2025?
I think Jimmy's
I know the answer, and I'm about to hate.
No, I think he's kind of the same guy. I think if you're trading for him, I can't believe I'm gonna freaking feel like he was gonna love me. I think I don't know if I would do Kuminga and pods. Like I mean I would. Let's be clear, I would. But it's like or whatever has to be done. But it's like you're trading for Jimmy Butler, and you've kind of pared yourself back down to an 8-9 man rotation. And those guys just are going to be unavailable. And the fun thing about this regular season team is that they're going to win a lot of regular season games because they've got 12 guys. With Jimmy Butler, he's a guy that's kind of similar to like your Chris Pauls and Klay Thompsons in the fact that he's just going to play one way in the regular season. Is Jimmy Butler right now? He's playing in Washington against the Wizards. What's the effort do you think he's given tonight against the fucking Wizards? They're up by 15. But it's like he's probably given 70%. You know what I mean?
They're winning. They're winning because
he has 18.
He has 18, 8, and 4, and he's not even trying.
I think you get him, and I would.
By the way,
they're
playing at 11 p.m. local time. What the fuck?
Yeah, Mexico game.
That's true.
I had the same question. I was like, what's going on? Mexico City game. But I guess my point is that you trade all of your young guys, you push all your chips in for a guy like Jimmy Butler, and I don't know how good you are. I don't know if he's a great fit. I would have done it for Lowry because I think the potential is higher. But of course, I would do it. Of course, I would do it.
I'm a Jimmy guy. I'm willing to bet on playoff Jimmy and the voodoo, and all the when the chips are on the table, big dog like bullshit. That like honestly, it's kind of like a Draymond sell. If I'm being honest with you, Draymond's the same thing. So, and honestly, I don't really buy any of the Warrior guys. So, I buy Steve Kerr. I buy Steve. I'm in favor of giving Steve a bunch of dogs and letting him release them onto the world. That's what I'm favor. That's what I'm in favor of. I'm in favor of watching Jimmy Butler, Draymond Green, and Kyle Anderson not want to shoot the ball, but outdog you. That's what I want. I'm gonna end it here because I want to go watch that end of that game.
Yep.
But appreciate everyone. We'll be back. We'll be back. We'll be back after the game Monday night. Appreciate everyone.